Nobody remembered saying that they'd come to it, but when I looked at my calendar, there it was.
No, it's written in my book. If it's not in my book, I'm lost.
Well, if it's not every 2 weeks, I forget about it.
Let's see. Well, we get 2 selectmen. We remembered saying that they'd come to it, but when I looked at like she froze up.
Well, we knew Kim was gonna, Kim will be probably a half an hour late.
She sent an email a little bit ago. Yeah.
And Sarah said she would probably be here like 15 minutes late. But they both emailed me and said the only 2 budgets they really had any concern over were the police department and the Parks and Rec, so.
Right. Not seeing Jeff yet.
He's messaging me on the other
Oh.
phone right now, so. Who is operators?
That's Rob.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Sorry. There should be a picture.
No, no picture.
no picture.
Let me see what I can do.
Find where it says video or something and hit that.
There he is.
There he is.
Sorry.
Dwayne is lurking in there incognito too, behind a little people thing.
Hopefully he's not at the Parks and Rec tonight where the Wi-Fi is like terrible. Oh, there's Jeff.
There we go. Wi-Fi is awful everywhere. Every company that has come in and bought out the last one has charged more money and given more service.
Hello,
Hey Jeff, how are you?
good, how are you?
Great. We have 3 selectmen here and we know that Sarah and Kim will be along in 15 to 30 minutes, depending on what their schedules are going for. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting, call the meeting to order. It is, let's see, here we are, calling the meeting to order at 7 p.m. And we don't have a lot on this agenda as all we're here for is budget discussions. So I do have a list of each of the budgets. I have a list in front of me of each of the budget items for the warrant and the amounts next to them. And if we are ready tonight, we can, once Kim and Sarah come on, we can vote some of these items, our opinions on those for what they would be on the warrant. And then if there's anything that we have questions on, those can be discussed at another, at the end of this meeting, if there's time, or at another meeting. But I'd like to see if we can't come to a consensus on some items so we can get these questions written early, make sure they're correct for printing, and have a fairly smooth process this year. So that's the thought process behind tonight's meeting. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to start I'm just going to read down through the list. I know Sarah and Kim both want to make sure they're available for talking on the Parks and Rec budget and on the police department budget. They both mentioned those 2. So we don't need to take a vote right now, but I'll just take a consensus between the 3 of us that are currently here on if we are in agreement on these other items. So the first item on the list is administration for $189,492. Were there any questions
No.
or
No,
any? Oh, wait a minute. This recording is still paused, so let me start the resume. There we go. Resume the recording. Yep. So, okay, so neither one of you have any questions or comments on administration?
Pam, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
The only budget that I have any problems with is the police budget. And I sent a message tonight to Dennis. We talked about in years past, this is a while ago, but of going with 16 hours instead of 24 hours as far as the police department goes. That's the only budget that I see that something, the $117,000, which is pretty drastic.
Right. So what I'm doing, Jeff, is I'm trying to go through every budget and see if anybody else has any issues
sure.
with any
Well,
other budget.
You got
Okay.
it. I do not. I'm fine with the budget.
Okay. So the second one on the list is the airport at $94,818. Does anyone have any questions on what that encompasses or any issues with that amount of money on the warrant for that budget?
I don't have any.
Nope, me neither.
Okay, neither do I. Animal control is at
I'm fine.
$15,575 for animal control.
I wouldn't-
Questions or comments?
None for me.
Okay,
I would point out, Pam, that I think we're okay with that. But we haven't actually seen the contract from the county for this yet.
okay,
But they did tell me that they didn't expect any raise in salaries, which is the bigger part of that, so.
okay. So I'm gonna make a note that we're waiting on a contract from the county on this item. Okay. The next item is assessing $6,492. I do have a question on why is that such a low amount?
What did we take out of that this year? Well, because there's two for assessing. So this is just for the operations of the assessing office, which is
Okay,
for postage and things like that. This does not include the assessing contract itself, which is under our contracted services.
okay, that explains that.
So
All
that's,
right.
yeah, that's the difference.
Okay, Jeff and Kathy, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Not hearing from Jeff. I'm assuming he's a yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, Pam.
If you don't answer, I'm gonna assume you're just agreeing with me, Jeff.
Absolutely. Yep, I am.
Oh, that makes life so easy.
Oh,
The next one
okay.
is boards and committees for $3,072. That's the postage and printing and so forth that boards and committees need to do their work. Any questions on that?
No, that sounds like a bargain to me.
Yeah.
Well, remember, it's less this year because we took the HPC secretary out of there that we would normally budget for. So that's why that one's down by quite a bit.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Then here we go. Here's one that's going to maybe gender some discussion. And if it does, we'll save it for the end when Kim and Sarah get that. Capital improvement / reserves. So I don't know if Kathy, if you and Jeff both have this same list in front of you,
I
but
don't think I do.
okay. So it's one of the
My book.
papers that Kathy sent out in email. So the first thing on there is the commercial peer debt for $40,464. I believe that's the final. Is that the final payment on that?
I believe it was, yes.
Yay.
So that would be the commercial peer finally paid off. Next is a new Bobcat for Public Works. Any comments on that?
No.
Public, okay. Main utility agreement, $65,000. Is that the streetlights?
No, this is for redoing the manholes when they repave the streets.
Oh, manholes, okay. I couldn't figure out what that was. Any comments on that, Jeff and Kathy?
No,
No.
no, it's
Okay,
one of those things we gotta pay.
it's gotta be done. Old Ferry Road culvert repair is $525,000.
Hmm.
We'll just wait and see if it's.
Gotta be fixed. It has to be fixed.
It has
As
to
long
be.
as we've been dealing with this.
It has to be fixed, so that's kind of not the, yeah, it has to be done.
That's what happens when you own things. You have to keep them in good repair. There is a new police cruiser, $55,000. Listening for any comments, any questions on a cruiser?
Well, I know that last time we had budget discussions, we were trying to figure out how to, get them to have to, buy one every other year or however they want to schedule it. And
Right.
with what they have now, I think in order to make that happen, I think we ought to go with a new. I'm in favor of a new one. I think it will help them get eventually on some sort of a schedule that we will all be happy with. I know they're expensive, but
I think part of the thought process behind that also is if we go forward next year with the bond project that we were discussing, that equipment would be brought up to a higher standard, and then we could go to every other year
yeah,
or every 3 years from there going forward. And it would have to be because the town would be paying off a large bond, and there wouldn't be financing available to have a shopping list like this, as it were.
Yeah. that's true. Yeah.
You're right, because everything from, a lot of everything coming out of the reserve accounts is going to go towards paying the bond. The next item is a wastewater treatment plant upgrades, $220,000. And I would like to know, what are the upgrades needed at the wastewater treatment plant?
Probably a lot.
I will let Rob tackle that.
Okay. You're muted, Rob.
I'm trying to unmute myself. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There you are.
Okay. Okay. There's an awful lot of equipment that is decaying. And what I've done is kind of, with a little bit of help from my predecessor, pointed out some of the most critical things that need to be replaced. In and among those things are a dump truck. And sadly, the dump truck that we have is from 1994. Scott over at the Public Works Department has pilfered and stolen and tried to get parts for us, but it's running out and he can't get them from like General Motors or anybody like that anymore. So I know that truck, which we use not only to load and transport our sludge to the Casella sludge disposal area in Unity, but we also use that when we sewer jet around town. That truck is the only one we have that can pull the tank and the water and all that stuff. So it gets more use in the summer. But when we're running our belt press, at least once a week, that truck really gets used for us. It's a workhorse. So I know that something like that, it might be between $60,000 and $90,000 to get, even if we bought a used one. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that we have 2 waste pumps at the plant, which are, they're 20 some years old. And one of them was repaired for $24,000 2 years ago, but they're getting old and they really need to be rebuilt or replaced. So the only way you can tell if you need to replace one is by tearing it apart and seeing if the guts are still worthwhile there. So they're called Moino waste pumps. And they could be between $30,000 to $50,000 to either rebuild or replace. I have 3 or 4 blowers. We actually have 6 blowers, but 3 or 4 of them have never been rebuilt or replaced. They're 30 years old, and I just don't want to wait until something dies before I take appropriate action and either rebuild them or replace them. Those would only be between $5,000 to $8,000 each. Then one of the largest things to me is the plant effluent pumps. They're the pumps that pump out into the river, our clean effluent. And they have never been rebuilt or replaced. And with some of this equipment, some of it runs 24 hours, 365 days a year. So you're either greasing something or oiling something. But in the case of these effluent pumps, they're submerged. So you don't do anything with them. They just run. And I don't want to wait till one of them dies off before I either rebuild or replace them. And those could be between $15,000 and $30,000. Same thing. So anyway, there are a number of other items from future years that I had anticipated replacing or rebuilding. And some of those things have died this year. So in a couple of years, I wanted to replace a Muffin Monster. You may have seen that. It's a grinder, sludge grinder, basically. And it just died. There's nothing you can do about it. And so that was like $10,000 that we paid this year. We had the Headworks heater, which is a heater for where the influent waters come in. It keeps that building warm. But it has to be explosion proof. It can't catch fire with the sparks and the toxic gases coming in. And that died. And that was like a $6,000 item. So I'm sorry to say that some of the things are decaying faster than I can keep up with them. But the things that I just described to you particularly are the ones that Dennis had actually worked with me and gotten it down to about $143,000. And one of the reasons was the Muffin Monster came off there. We also had, this week, we have had 5 pump station pumps go bad in the past 9 days. But one of them is like a $4,000 repair. That was something that's in the future, also further down the list. Well, the part that replaced the broken piece, even though it was $4,000, it basically is a rebuild, a complete rebuild of the existing pump. Well, when all the seals went bad and it ruined the bearings, I had to replace it. So those guts got replaced. That was $3,900. So those are things, you know, I tried to list them in order of priorities and in order of what I thought would last longest, you know, to hit the critical things first. But sometimes that's a guessing game. And so I didn't aim too well on my Muffin Monster soon enough or the Headworks heater. But these
So
are,
do you only have one truck at this point?
we have a pickup truck, which we use to go around town to inspect manholes and pump stations.
Okay,
And we have the big dump truck. So those are the only 2 vehicles we have.
okay. I wanted to make sure the pickup truck was still around. Hi, Sarah.
So Pam, just to comment on the truck, one, I wouldn't recommend that we buy a used one. I don't want somebody else's headache. 2, that's a little tough to do given that that body has to be sealed and gasketed because it cannot leak.
Mhm.
So finding, would have to have a body manufactured to go on it anyways. And so this actually, the amount includes the hire of that end so that we can look at a new vehicle instead of buying a used one that we're going to have to patch and piece together, which is not going to, which is really doesn't put us in any better shape than we're in right now. So.
Okay. Okay.
And, and as Rob has pointed out, that facility is aging and it's going to start costing some money to keep it up to date and keep us out of trouble with people we don't want to be in trouble with.
Yeah, tired iron. Okay, so we're on, let me see, the next one is, Sarah, I will catch you and Kim up on what we've done before as soon as Kim comes online as well.
Sure.
Okay, so what we're doing is just going down through the items to see if there's any questions so that once all 5 of us are online, we can maybe vote these items onto the warrant and they can start building a warrant from this.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm halfway down through capital improvements now, and the next item is EMS technology upgrades for $10,000. Is there any questions on what that is? I'm assuming radios or.
I was stingy on this. I probably should have put in a little bit more, but given the amount that we spent this year on the ambulance and the new stretcher, These are for some computer upgrades. The computers over there cannot be upgraded themselves any further. The computers in the truck, both of them are now gone. They were old. They can't be upgraded. There's no internet access in either one of those ambulances. So that would be for internet access so that the crews can, so like Miles, you can actually FaceTime with Miles. We put an iPad in the back. We can FaceTime with Miles. If you have a stroke patient, that's really important for the doc to be able to see them before they get there. And so that's what the technology upgrades are for, is to try to get some of that equipment in there.
Is that going to be enough to cover what you want to do?
I should have probably doubled it to 20,000.
Well, maybe we can go to 15 or something. I'd say go to 20 when you're talking about people's lives.
Does anybody else on the board feel that this number should be increased?
I think it should be 20,000.
No, I do too. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't comfortable when I did this to start with, and as time has gone, I've been a little less comfortable with it, so.
Okay, what do you think, Sarah?
I mean, so you're feeling pretty confident at this point that 10,000 just is not,
I
not
don't,
going to get you where you need to be.
no, I don't think it is.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna write in 20 on this and we'll get to it when we get to a vote. One item on here, Parks and Recreation improvements for $60,000. What are the improvements at Parks and Rec?
That was Dwayne, refresh my memory here, because I don't have it right in front of
He's
me.
muted.
I see a green
Hi,
phone.
Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Yeah, this is for we're looking at
I've got it.
replacement of the hot water tanks, replacement carpet of the senior center, and looking into the replacement of the rooftop AC unit.
Rooftop AC units, yeah.
And AC units, okay.
Again, aging infrastructure.
Oh, yeah. We got 2 more lines here, and then I'll catch Kim and Sarah up on what we haven't done a whole lot on this yet, so I'll catch you both up on it as soon as we look at 2 more lines. Fire Department Rescue Board, $20,000. I think that is self-explanatory. Does anyone have a problem with that
No.
item?
And this will actually be used by the harbor master as well.
Okay, and Fire Department overhead door openers, $10,000. Again, self-explanatory, and
No problem.
No. yeah, I have no problem with that. You have to be able to open the doors to get the trucks out when the buildings catch fire. It's kind of a
Yeah.
no-brainer.
Mhm.
Okay, so to catch Kim and Sarah up, and we can maybe actually start voting these. Yes, Rob?
I just wanted to ask Dennis, was the kitchen on the capital improvement as well?
No, and we can have a discussion about that tomorrow.
Perfect. All right, thanks.
So I'll catch Kim and Sarah. Sorry, Sarah. Sorry. Catch you both up on what we're talking. So what I've done is I just started with the very top of the page. We've just gone down through and no one's had any questions. What I'd really like to do is get an official vote on each item so that they could go on a warrant with our votes listed.
And by top of the page, you mean top of the budget summary page?
I'm looking at the page that says budget proposal that Kathy sent out with some some updated information.
Yep.
So if let me just write down the list here. Kim and Kathy, I didn't write down the voting list. Jeff is always third. And then and then Sarah, and then Pam, because if I don't, I'll forget who I asked. All right, so the first one was for administration, $189,492. So
Yes.
so this is to vote to put this on the warrant with this amount of money. So to do that, I would need a motion and I would need a second, and then we will need a roll call vote. Okay, so it
So
would be,
moved.
okay, so Kim,
I'll second it.
okay, and Sarah. It's been moved and seconded by Kim and Sarah to pass, to list administration at $189,492.
Kathy,
Yes,
was that Kathy that did the second?
yeah.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
so.
really? Oh, I thought that sounded like Sarah. Sorry.
Thank you. You made my day. That puts me many years younger.
Youth in your voice. So it's been moved and seconded by Kim and Kathy. Is there any questions on this item? Okay, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes,
Sarah,
Yes,
and Pam votes yes. It's 5-0. I'd like a motion to pass the airport at $94,818 unless, and then we can see if there's any discussion.
So moved.
second,
And I know that one was Kathy. And Jeff moved and seconded. Any discussion, any questions? Okay, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes,
Sarah,
yes,
and Pam votes yes for 5-0. Animal control is $15,575. The only caveat to this is that we have not seen the contract from Lincoln County. So this amount should be correct. If the contract should come in differently, we can re-vote this at a later date to edit the amount on the warrant. So I'm open for a motion.
I'll move the 15,575 for the animal control office.
Okay, second?
yes. Second, sorry.
Okay, and moved and seconded. Any discussion or questions? Calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes,
Sarah,
yes.
and Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. The
Hey,
amount
Pam,
for, yes, sir,
Pam,
Jeff.
could we take them all that you've discussed unless someone has something that they want to change?
Sarah and Kim weren't here, and I'd really like to explain the capital improvements, and this is moving along pretty quickly, I think, so,
Okay,
all right. We have assessing at $6,492, so that's the operations of assessing, not assessing total. The total of the personnel and assessing is in, I believe it's contracted services. So this is for like postage and printing and all of those things, $6,492. Open for a motion.
I move that we approve the $6,492 for the warrant for assessing.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah, and I know it was Sarah that time. I saw her saying it. So, any questions on this item? Okay, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes,
Sarah,
yes,
and Pam votes yes for 5-0. Boards and committee is $3,072. And this is, again, just their operations for the work they do. We're open for a motion.
I move the $3,072 for boards and committees.
second,
It's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah. Any questions? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes.
Sarah,
yes,
and Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. We're moving right along. Okay, so we have a list here on capital improvements, and my paper here has me for writing down the motion made by and the seconded by with the amounts, but these do not have that. So I'm going to say I can probably read down through this list and we can take this section as a whole. So the commercial pier debt is for $40,464. That's the final payment on the commercial pier repairs that started, I don't know, what was that, 10 years ago? Public Works needs a new Bobcat. That is $90,000. Any questions there? Main utility agreement, that's $65,000 for the manholes upgrades to the work that MDOT just did this last year. Any questions there?
And coming up.
Yeah, and coming up, more repairs coming.
More.
Old Ferry Road culvert repairs, $525,000. Do we have any questions on that? New police cruiser at $55,000. Questions? Wastewater treatment plant upgrades that include a dump truck that our dump truck is currently from 1994. They're going to be needing a dump truck, 2 wastewater pumps, 3 to 4 blowers that might be needed to be repaired or replaced. They are 30 years old currently, and 2 effluent pumps that are $15,000 to $30,000 each, which do exactly what it says. They move the effluent, and you really don't want those to break down. Do we have any questions or comments on that?
What's the total?
Sorry, the total was $220,000.
Thank you.
EMS technology upgrades, as we just discussed, we put that at $20,000. Those are for computer upgrades in the ambulances that would allow those people working in the ambulances to contact hospitals online, so they'd have hopefully a better outcome for some of their patients. So any comments or questions on that? Okay, Parks and Recreation improvements is $60,000, and those are for hot water tank replacement, new carpet in the senior center, and the AC, and a couple of AC units. Any comments or questions on that? All right, oh, look at the dog with Kathy. Okay, fire department rescue boat, $20,000. Comments or questions? Okay, I'm not seeing that. And then the fire department overhead door openers for $10,000. Any questions there? Okay, so and do we have a total number on that, Dennis? Because this doesn't have the total on.
Adding the additional $10,000 that we put in EMS, it comes to $1 million even.
$1 million. Wow. Okay, so that is for a total of $1 million in capital improvement repairs. We are open for a motion.
I move the $1 million total for those capital improvements that we just listed.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim. Does anyone have anything, any issues with any of these items so listed? I'm not hearing any, so calling for a vote from Kim.
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. That's 5-0.
Pam, on the boards and committees, who made the second?
Boards and committees was Kathy and Sarah.
Sarah, thank you.
Okay. The next item is celebrations, $12,750. So
I
does
make-
anyone? Okay, Kathy,
I move the $12,750 for celebrations.
Pam, I just have a quick question. Dennis, is there any carryover from our celebrations from last year?
Yes, there will be, because we didn't do 4th of July or any of that. And so I actually considered not putting as much into this budget this year to ask you to carry that over. But as we found this year that the new board is not bound by previous boards. And so this would just lapse into fund balance instead.
Okay, so it's been moved by Kathy. Do we have a second?
Do we want to carry the money forward, Pam?
No, I think that doing it this way is probably the right way to do it. It's just going into fund balance.
Just what you
So-
don't spend this year will just go into fund balance.
Right. Okay,
I'll second it.
okay. So it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Jeff, calling for, well, any discussions or questions, issues of any kind? Okay, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes,
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. I'm just gonna put out there, if there's any items on this that come up that people want to spend an extended period discussing, we will move them to the end of the meeting and either talk about them last and come back to them, or we'll take them up at a future meeting. This is just to see what we can get moved through so we can clear the table a little bit. On the item of cemeteries, $123,882. And all of that, I believe, is from the perpetual care account.
Just one comment before you vote on this.
Mhm.
There's been some considerable discussion in town about the fence at the ancient cemetery. And
Mhm.
there will be some discussion on the agenda coming up about that as well. If we vote on this budget tonight, and whatever you decide to do on Tuesday could actually change this amount. So this may be one that you want to table and go past and come back to after the select board meeting next Tuesday.
Yeah, I would highly suggest that we move this one because I think it would make a lot of sense to consider the amount for the fence before we put it on the ballot.
Okay, myself, I just want to see the property without a fence and live through it with the year to see how the seasons change it, but if others want to discuss this at a later date, we can do that.
Yeah, and there's likely a letter with a lot of signatures coming our way in support of putting something up after we change
Yeah.
this.
And I understand that, but
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's up to the Board of Selectmen to make those decisions, and I think it's up to us to see what we need to see before we make those decisions. So I'm not going to be rushed into throwing a fence up this week.
Oh, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more we need to consider before we vote,
Yep.
put this on the ballot.
Yep, okay.
And I agree. That's why I brought it up.
Okay, so we will wait on cemeteries, putting that on this asterisk. The next is clerk, so I'm assuming that's town clerk.
Yes.
Okay, town clerk for the amount of $95,280.
I move the $95,280 for the town clerk's budget.
Okay. Is there a
Second.
second? Oh, is that Sarah?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah, $95,280 for the office of town clerk and all of its operations. Are there any issues, comments, concerns? Seeing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes,
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes for 5-0. Office of Code Enforcement, $36,827.
I will move the $36,827 for the code enforcement.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah. Any comments, questions, issues with this item? Okay, hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
yes,
Kathy,
Yes,
Jeff,
Yes,
Sarah,
Yes,
and Pam votes yes, 5-0. Next item is community organizations. We have 6 items on this that total 6 items under community organizations that total $62,050. So those items are the Wiscasset Public Library, $57,250. Healthy Kids for $1,500. New Hope for Women, $700. Help Yourself Food Pantry, $1,000. Church of the Nazarene Food Pantry, $1,000. And American Legion Flag Program, $600.
I make a motion that we approve them all.
second,
Okay. Who was the second?
Sarah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded by Jeff and Kathy for community organizations at $62,050.
Jeff and
Any
Sarah.
comments, questions, or issues?
It was,
No, just that it was Sarah rather than Kathy.
Oh, it is Sarah.
Can we go
You
back to
know-
our meetings now?
You guys have spent too much time together. You sound alike. Okay. So the total is $62,050. Any comments, questions, or issues?
I just have a question. I don't know whether I should abstain from this because I'm a member of the Friends of the Wiscasset Public Library. If it's not a trustee, but we do the fundraising.
Yeah, you're not, but you don't benefit from the budget. I will have to abstain from this because I benefit from this
Yeah, okay,
organization.
gotcha. All right.
I'm an
I'm all set.
employee, but you are not. Okay.
Okay, so I'll be more than happy to move it's already been done. Never mind. We have to vote. Go ahead. God,
Okay.
I'm tired.
So calling for a vote from Kim,
yes,
Kathy,
Yes,
Jeff,
Yes,
Sarah,
Yes,
and Pam abstains for a vote of 401. Contingency, $30,000. I have a question as to whether contingency is enough at $30,000. That got eaten up in pretty much one gulp this year.
It has been in past years.
Okay.
But as we did see this year, and I don't know. There's actually, I mean, we could up it to 50,000.
that's what I was thinking. This is
Yeah,
Wiscasset. Something always happens.
Yeah, 30 was, I thought 30 was a risk last year, and I could see it, everything else has been so crazy this year. I don't see things changing right off. Does anyone else feel that 30,000 or 50,000? What are the wishes of the board here?
has it pretty much been 30,000 for the last few years?
I think it's varied.
it used to be,
Actually, it's been as low as 20,000.
and Sarah, when I first was on the board, it was 10.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, when I was first on the board, it was 80.
Yeah.
So going back a ways.
Yeah, it varies.
Yeah, it jumps around a lot.
and this just goes
I'm
back
fine
into
with
fund.
either.
Exactly. If it doesn't get spent, it goes back into fund balance.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with 50 then.
Okay, so that's 2. I feel more comfortable with 50. I just think there's too much room for oh my God moments still
Yeah.
going forward. What
Our name
so
didn't suit, so
right. So Jeff, are you okay with 50 or no?
I'm gonna vote no, even for the 30, Pam. So that's you go right ahead with the vote.
Okay.
Well, Jeff, did
You
you want
have a motion.
was you think higher or lower?
Lower. I'm not a contingency guy, Dennis. I think that we could go in front of the town for most items and ask for the money.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion for 50,000.
Okay. And do we have a second?
Second.
This one was definitely by Kathy, and Sarah moved and seconded the amount of $50,000 for contingency. Any questions, comments, issues? Seeing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
yes,
Kathy,
Yes,
Jeff,
No,
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, so that passes 4-1. Contractual is $197,200. So is this the legal in this as well?
Yes, this is the legal, this is your assessing contract, not your operating contract.
Right, assessing and legal, okay. So we're open for a motion.
I'll move the 197,200 for assessing contract.
Second.
This is for contractual, this is for all of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
contractual,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
okay. So motion is by Kathy and Sarah to pass contractual at 197,200. Any comments, questions, or issues? Calling for a vote from Kim,
yes,
Kathy,
Yes,
Jeff,
yes,
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes for 5-0. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Debt service, $231,868. And this is for your school withdrawal bond and the TAN interest and fees for the tax anticipation note. So this is to pay our bills. We're open for a motion.
I move the $231,868 for the debt service payments.
Do we have a second?
second,
Seconded by Kim. So it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim, $231,868 for debt service. Any questions, comments, issues, concerns? A little piece of poetry at the moment to break things up.
I just want to point out the 221,868 is about $7,000 less than last year because of the refinance that we did this fall.
yes, thank you.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah,
Good job. Okay, I'm calling for a vote from Kim,
yes,
Kathy,
yes,
Jeff,
Yes,
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. It's 5-0. Next item is elections in the amount of $22,668. Open for a motion.
I move the $22,668 for elections.
Can I have a second?
second, second,
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim for the elections at $22,668. Any comments, questions, issues?
Just a question on printing. I'm guessing that includes absentee ballots and that sort of thing. Is that correct? So I was just curious, do we think we're gonna get close to that 8,000 with the June election? I'm just curious because I know there were far more ballots printed this last time than ever before, or at least I think so. And yet that number's still pretty far off of 8,000.
Actually, what's in your packet did not include the carryover that we did last year. So that number was a little higher.
Carryover in terms of, more
Well,
costs.
we had to carry over a lot of stuff last year because we had so many elections that we didn't do last year.
Yeah,
So that number doesn't include that. It might be a little on the high side, but that's the number that Linda gave me, so. And remember, we do have a credit this year from them on printing some of this stuff.
I think
Oh,
she
that's right, too.
anticipates more absentee ballots in the November and the June election based on the absentee ballots that we had this past year due to COVID. So I think that she plans more people vote absentee than by in-person voting, so.
okay.
Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, again, it was moved by Kathy and Kim for elections. Calling her for a vote from Kim.
Yep.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. We are moving on to EMA, EMS for the amount of $614,577. And we are open for a motion.
I move the $614,577 for EMS.
A second.
Second.
So I'm gonna have this motion by Kathy and Sarah, that's the two I heard first. To pass EMA, EMS at $614,577. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. Finance, $266,039. Do we have an explanation on what is the total of what is encompassed under finance?
Sure, finance is the treasurer's office and the accounts payable clerk
Oh,
Okay,
And tax collector.
and tax collector, yes.
okay. I was gonna say, that's only two people. I'm applying for a job here. Okay, so finance is $266,039. We are open for a motion.
I move the $266,039 for finance.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. Next on the list is the fire department, $144,339 for the fire department. Open for a motion.
I move the $144,339 for the fire department.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim. Any comments, questions, or issues at all here? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. General assistance, $24,703 for general assistance. Open for a motion.
I move the $24,703 for general assistance.
Second.
It's been moved, general assistance has been moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim. Any questions, comments, issues?
Pam, I have a question. Kathy, is that enough money?
Yeah, we should come in under this year's budget by a little bit, but we upped it a little bit because more and more people, unfortunately, are finding themselves homeless, and the expense of putting them up at a hotel is much more costly than paying someone's rent. But I think we'll still be okay at 24,703.
Okay, you know what my concern is, Kathy. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, and actually, general assistance is one of those budgets that can be overspent under the, so, it's a starting point anyway. And I think we'll be okay with that.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
And as Kathy pointed out, this is one that we can legally overspend without voter approval, so.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay, seeing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes,
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, 5-0. Municipal building, $77,160.
I move the $77,160 for the municipal building.
Second.
That was Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah for the municipal building. Any comments, questions, issues?
I apologize if this was already said, but what does the 20,000 for buildings cover? Is that just everyday maintenance, or is that something specific?
20,000 in buildings where?
Repairs and maintenance.
That's just for general maintenance, buildings,
Oh.
grounds, whatever needs to be, if the shingles blow off, we can replace them and so on and so forth.
Oh, I
Okay.
see. Right. Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes,
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, 5-0. Okay, moving on to municipal insurance. So there are 4 items under municipal insurance. It's municipal property and casualty at $38,156. Unemployment compensation, $14,563. Workers' compensation at $108,156. And retiree health insurance, $64,839, for a total insurance, municipal insurance of $225,714.
Pam, if
So
I could just point out to the rest of the board who are following you by the budget summary, on that budget discussion document we put in the retiree health, but that is an appropriation out of the reserve account, but we just put it in there to take it up at the same time you did the other insurances. So the retiree health is not raised through taxation, but appropriated from the reserve account.
Thank you, Kathy.
Okay, yep,
So does that mean it should only be the 168.75? Okay.
yes. All right,
You still have to vote the 225,714.
correct, because you have to put it on the warrant, yep.
Right. You're not raising it through taxes, it's being appropriated.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're open for a motion.
So the motion is for what? 160,875?
No, it's for $225,714 for municipal insurance.
Okay, that's,
The retiree health insurance is $64,222. If you want to take them up separate, that's up to you, but
Okay,
I mean, are they listed separate on the ballot or no?
they will be listed separately on the ballot. Yep.
okay, because they're listed all together on the paper you gave me today.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Okay.
That's how we've done it in the past, only because it's all insurance, and so that,
Okay,
Am I correct in saying that none of this is really negotiable? Like we have to pay these things?
correct.
correct. This is your insurance bill.
These are hard
220
numbers.
Right.
So can we just take it all at once?
Yes. Yes, you can. I'm open for a motion.
I'll second Kim's motion.
So moved.
Okay, the second came before the motion. That's good. It's been moved and seconded by Kim and Jeff for $225,714 for the municipal insurance. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes?
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. That is 5-0 on each of those items. Next question on the warrant is Parks and Recreation for a total of $808,891. 808,891. Parks and Recs. We are open for a motion.
I'll make a motion for 808,891 for Parks and Rec.
I'll second it, and we can discuss it.
Okay, so we have, it's Parks and Recreation have been moved and seconded by Kim and Kathy. Any comments, questions, concerns?
One quick question. Am I recalling that the Sunken Garden $2,000 is in there because it was somewhere else last year? Is that right?
That is correct. We moved it from the Public Works budget over to Parks and Rec, so.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Where did we end up putting, and it might not be on this, where did we end up putting maintenance of the waterfront bathrooms?
That's under the waterfront budget.
Okay, and at one time it was Parks and Rec, but that's not in there now, right?
No, it wasn't. We moved it, it was, yes, but we moved it over to the waterfront.
Thank you.
And
Any other?
I have a question. Are the revenue monies in this as well?
No, this is just the expenditures.
Wait a minute,
Okay.
the anticipated revenue is included in this number.
Yes, Jeff, the $808,891, part of that is revenues, yes.
Yeah.
This is not all raised through taxes. This is raised and appropriated taxation and revenues.
And this is revenue at $409,000.
Yes.
406, 780.
406, yeah, 406.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
No.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, 4-1. Moving on to Police Department. Oh my goodness, we might get to this whole list. Police at $587,112. Okay. So first, open for a motion.
I move the $587,112 for the police department.
Second.
Okay, moved, and Police Department budget is moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Quick thing, we skipped planning, but
Where was planning on my list? Actually, planning is not on my list here.
Oh, it's,
Because
I
the
don't,
link's there.
it
I
was
guess
on,
I have an old list.
it was on the list for last year. It's not on the list for this year. It's actually in contracted services this year.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
Oh, okay. That's why it's not on my list. Okay. So it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim for the Police Department at $587,112. Any questions, comments, or concerns? And I believe this is with the additional officer is included in this budget.
Just the one, not the two, right?
Just the one.
Correct.
Okay.
Hopefully getting a grant to fund it, which would be lovely. So seeing no questions, comments, or concerns, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
uh, Sarah?
Yes.
Good Lord. And Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. Okay, school resource officer,
I
50.
can see I'm not gonna be able to do late meetings with you people.
Yes, Kathy.
I just want Dennis to know that planning is separate from contracted services. Because I have the book in front of me and contracted services does not list planning. So it is separate. It needs to be taken action on.
Okay. Yeah, I was just looking through it and I was like, I don't see it.
Okay,
So I didn't put it, Pam, my apologies, I didn't put it on the piece of paper I gave to you.
okay, we'll get to it. We're almost at the
Well,
bottom.
That was why I had Kathy come to the meeting to keep me straight.
Thanks, Kathy.
You're welcome.
We will get to planning at the very end. So right now, we're looking at a school resource officer at $51,402. We are open for a motion.
I move the $51,402 for the school resource officer.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah for the school resource officer. I do have a question have we heard anything from the school department as to their stepping in and helping fund this position?
I did email Terry about that a couple of days ago, and she said she was looking into it and would get back to me. So yes, that possibility does still exist.
Okay,
And they're having a budget hearing right now.
They're doing their budget meeting right now, yeah.
okay, good, very good. Any other questions, comments? Oh, Larry has a comment.
I did talk to Terry this morning and she threw out a number of $15,000 that she could probably swing towards it. I don't know if $15,000 is much to worry about, but that's the figure she threw out there to me this morning.
Everything helps.
Yep.
And as I pointed out before, is to me, school resource officers should be funded by the schools because that's partially refunded by the state of Maine. So that's why I question which budget that's in is the schools receive money from the state of Maine.
Oops, we're losing Pam.
The school doesn't receive any money for an SRO though. Like the state subsidy formula is very detailed and it doesn't include SRO. It includes general instruction and special education and, transportation, but not SRO.
Sorry, mine froze up. I didn't hear your comment.
Oh, my comment is that the state subsidy does not include money for an SRO. The subsidy is very detailed. The funding formula is quite specific, and it's for general instruction and special education, some money for administration. There are 11 cost centers, but it doesn't include money for SRO.
Okay, thank you.
So anything that the school picks up for SRO comes out of the locally raised money. It's really 6 of one, half dozen of another.
Okay, so we have a school resource officer that's been moved by Kathy and Sarah. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
No.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. That is 4-1. Public utilities at $317,930.
I move $317,930 for public utilities.
Second.
Okay, public utilities moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
I just had a question under the hydrants. It says 6 private hydrants. So what does that mean in terms of us? I don't know if there's anybody to
Those are the
answer.
ones at Mason Station, right?
That's correct.
Right, but if they're private, I don't understand private part of it and why it would be in our budget if it's private.
Kathy, can you help me on that? Because I actually have to admit, I don't know the answer to that.
I'm not sure which hydrants would be private, to be honest. Is Ted still
They're
on?
the ones. I think they're the ones at Mason Station because I feel like this question has come up in the past.
There's more than
And
one
I
out
think that
there.
they're- Yeah, and I think that they are privately owned, but because they are fire hydrants plugged into the water, we have to maintain them. But I could be wrong. I feel like this comes up though every year.
Ted, do you know the answer to that? You're muted, Ted.
Or his mic's not working.
Or is
His
Mike?
mic's not working. He wasn't muted.
Oh, it must be his mic. There is a notation on here that says they are the ones out at Mason Station.
Right, I'm just asking because it's a large amount of money, so.
Right, it is.
A lot of money. So it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Kim for public utilities. Any other questions or comments?
If you want to wait on this, I can get you an answer and you can vote on it next Tuesday.
I think that would probably be a good idea, so we'd have a good answer.
Yeah, and I think just in general, the hydrants, like why do they cost 18,000 a month? Like what, do they flush them all the time? Or I don't know anything about hydrants, but.
That's
Right.
that's the rental that we pay to the water company to have them there so that if we need them, they're available to us. The amount is high this year because of the increase in the water. That budget also went up 20%.
Oh, I know, I've seen it in my bill.
So do we want to table this? If we're going to table this, we need the motion and the second withdrawn.
I'll withdraw my motion.
I'll withdraw
Okay.
my second. Did I second it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Take it
so
back.
So public utilities will be taken up at a later meeting. Public Works, $637,215. Open for a motion.
Make a motion to approve?
Second,
Who was the second?
Kathy.
Okay, thank you.
You
It's been moved and seconded by Jeff and Kathy for Public Works. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes,
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes,
and Pam votes yes, that's 5-0. Office of Selectmen, $27,362.
I move the $27,362 for the Board of Selectmen.
Can I have a second?
what, you guys don't want to get paid?
God, that's
No.
$200 a month.
actually, I don't want to get paid, to be
I
honest.
don't
with you.
either. I feel like it should be a volunteer position, and then, like, nobody
No.
would do it for more than 1 or 2 terms because it's this dreadful. Like, if you didn't get paid, nobody would do it for more than 2 terms. And if we had more people running for selectmen, the town would be better represented.
Just second the motion.
I'll second.
I will sec, who did?
Sarah,
Okay,
Thank you, Sarah.
sorry, I think my time's worth at least that much money. It's not much.
No.
Office of Selectmen has been moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah.
Kim, if it makes you feel any better, everybody else got a 2.5% raise this year and I didn't give you guys anything, so.
And we don't get anything. It's flat. This is a flat
I
budget
just
from the
think it
last.
would be an incentive to get, like, a little turnover on the board.
Well, the easy way to get turnover on the board is for people who have been on to not run again.
Exactly. And nobody would volunteer to do this torture for more than 2 terms.
So it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Sarah for the Office of Selectmen, $27,362. Calling for a vote from Kim,
No.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes, with regret.
and Pam votes yes. It is 4-1.
Oh, well.
Senior Center, $14,466.
I move the senior center amount of $14,466.
Second.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Jeff for the Senior Center. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. That is 5-0. Shellfish for $6,000.
I move the $6,000 for the shellfish.
Second.
Second.
I heard Jeff first, so it's shellfish and moved by Kathy and Jeff for $6,000. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Everybody wants shellfish.
Hearing no questions on the budget, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. That's 5-0. Transfer station in the amount of $601,601. That's 601,601.
I move the transfer station amount of $600,001.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded by Kathy and Jeff. Any comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. That's 5-0. Wastewater treatment plant, $766,000, 160. Yeah, what did I say? $766,164. Open for a motion.
I
Make a
move
motion to approve.
So
second.
let's get Jeff and Kathy. Wastewater treatment plant moved by Jeff and Kathy. Questions, comments, concerns from anybody? Seeing none, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. That's 5-0. Waterfront and harbors, $61,975.
I'll make a motion to approve.
$61,975.
61,975. Moved by Jeff. Looking for a second.
Second.
Moved by Jeff and Kathy for waterfront and harbor. Any question, comments, concerns?
What was
Seeing none,
the, oh,
go ahead.
quick question. So is there a new part-time person? Is that what that first line is?
There's $6,000 in there to help out with assuming that we get the pump out grant. That's going, the plan is to be using existing staff of that, probably from Parks and Rec. But we want to make sure that it's not charged to the Parks and Rec budget, that it goes actually to the waterfront budget. So-
Okay.
So the time that they spend. charged to the Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, calling for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. That's 5-0. Last thing on my list for today is planning in the amount of, I've got $35,000 here.
That's correct.
Okay, the Office of Planning for $35,000.
I
So
move.
moved.
Is that Sarah?
Go ahead,
Okay.
Sarah.
So moved.
Second.
Kathy?
Second.
Okay. So it's moved and seconded by Sarah and Kathy for the Office of Planning at $35,000. Comments, questions, concerns? Anything? Going once, going twice?
I just would like
Oh.
to say that I think this is really important in here and I'd like us to keep moving forward in this direction in the
Yeah.
future.
Agree.
And I think so far the contract with Lincoln County Planning is working out pretty well, so.
Yep. They've been a big
Good to
help for a
know.
comprehensive plan already.
Okay, so we'll call for a vote from Kim,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes, so that's 5-0. We have 2 items that we're going to be taking up on a future time is on cemeteries and on public utilities. I think everything else has been covered.
Very good
So
work.
anything else that anyone would like to share before we move on to item 3 on the agenda and adjourn?
We don't have to talk about this tonight, but is there another opportunity for a couple of questions on revenues?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we'll do that at the next meeting, so we won't keep anyone too late tonight. So the next meeting, we'll listen to the revenues and the 2 questions that are still pending. Okay. We are open for a motion to
Kathy.
adjourn. Oh, wait, Kathy
Well,
O has her hand up.
I know that on the list, on the budget comparison list, county tax is listed on there. And that's an assessment that we have to pay. So we don't put that generally on the warrant, but it becomes part of our tax commitment. So we don't have a say on that, but we do have the hard number for that now, which is $1,295.
So that was less than what I had originally put in because I thought it was going to be higher. So it ended up being like
Sorry.
$11,000 less.
Repeat that, please.
Yeah, could you say that again, please?
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying that the county tax is an assessment that we get billed from the county based on our valuations and stuff like that. So although it doesn't get put on the warrant, it's considered when we do tax commitment.
And the number was?
Oh, I'm sorry, $661,295.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we are open for a
Is
motion
that
to
up?
adjourn.
I'm sorry, just one question, Kathy. Is that number up from last year?
It's up $7,048.
Oh, that's not so bad.
No,
Thanks.
I make a
I
motion
move
that
to
we adjourn. Second,
Who made the motion?
Kim.
There were Kathy.
I think Kathy made the motion and the second.
Oh, well, I thought I heard Kim say something about adjourning, so I said second.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I did.
Okay, so it's been
Adjourn.
moved and seconded by Kim and Kathy to adjourn. Calling for a vote from Kim.
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
and Pam votes yes. We are adjourned at 8:21 p.m. Good work, everybody. We got through an awful lot of work.
Yep, good job. That
Thank you,
Good job.
Pam. Thank you, Dennis.
puts us
Thanks,
ahead.
everyone.
Kathy.
Thank
Have
you.
a good
guys.
night.
See you
Have,
Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
have a good